doing good. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing nice. You're doing amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. I saw some person. This is so ridiculous. But some celebrity woman was like, it's a red flag for if a guy wants to go to space. She's like, that's such a red flag. Her argument is you're self-obsessed if you want to go to space. Like you have a big ego or something, which is so stupid. So now ambition is a crime. And I don't know what she meant. Like, did she mean like someone who wants to live in space? Because, I mean, I get that. That's not great. There's nothing out there. So I understand that. But if someone just wants to go to space and come back, and that's somehow a red flag, you're stupid. You're silly. It's like saying, you know, well, okay, look. Here's what I'll say. To paint that as a moral defect, like there's something wrong with that person, is crazy. So I think it's okay to be like, I just want someone laid back who takes it easy like me. So you don't want someone who does extreme things like skydiving, mountain climbing, and whatnot. I can understand someone who's like, that's just not for me, it's not my speed. That's fine. But to suggest that there's something wrong with that individual is crazy. Would I go to space? Maybe as a trip. Go out to space, see what it's like. But you know what I'd do? I'd wait for them to iron out the kinks of the tech first. Because, you know, it's like someone flying an airplane. You don't want to be that first part of that first batch of people on the first airplane or whatever, first commercial flight. You want a bunch of commercial flights to go out and to see how safe they are before you are taking that risk, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it'll be the same thing where I'll let a couple space flights go out and then eventually be like, okay, I also want to see space now. And I think, you know, within my lifetime, well within my lifetime, rather early within my lifetime, I think I'll be able to see that happen. I really do think we're fast approaching the space age, and it's interesting to see. I'm not a big space guy. I'm one of these people that fantasized about living on another planet and stuff. I think Earth is great. There's so much we haven't discovered here. There's so much of the Earth's potential we still haven't tapped into. So, you know, I'm not a space person. I don't really think about it. So I would never be the person that like lives on Mars. But I am curious to see what space is like. So yeah. Red flags, red flags. What are red flags for y'all? I don't know. What are red flags for me? I think one thing I'm realizing, a big red flag for me is someone who can't hold an intellectual discussion. I think that's so problematic because You want to spend your life with someone and you can't really talk to them about much. It's a drag. It's a drag. It's boring. You want to be able to talk to the person you're with, you live with. So I'd want a girl who's smart, who's intelligent, who reads, is knowledgeable about various topics. I can learn stuff from her. That'd be great. Because then it's interesting. You go out to dinner and, I'm a big fan of dinner dates. And they last quite a bit of time. So, 2 hours, 3 hours. You want to be able to talk about meaningful things within that period, like interesting things. You want to be able to have those sort of discussions and go back and forth, and that's so important to me. And I'm also trying to get better at that myself. I want to be more interesting, so I'm trying to read more and learn more about certain things. I used to be so good at that, but as of late I've kind of slowed down. I'm getting distracted by all sorts of things, and I want to get better at that. But yeah, big red flag for me is like someone who's shallow, can't have interesting discussions, constantly on the phone, not like instead of engaging in conversation. What else is a red flag? I mean, there's several things, but it's like I'll sum it up as saying values. I think values have to be aligned. If values aren't aligned, that's obviously a big red flag. But there's so much that goes into that. So what I'll say is faith. I think it only makes sense to be with a Christian woman. Because so much comes from that. So much proceeds from that point onwards. So I could never be one of those people that, again, you never say never. Wow, it just doesn't make sense. I wouldn't want to do it unless the Lord has other plans, which I don't think put me in that position. You never know. But just dating outside of your religion doesn't make sense, because your values are going to be so different. And that just increases the likelihood of conflict. And, when you're raising your kids, that's so important as well. You need to think about these sort of things. And you want to avoid confusion in the household. You want to have a united front. So dating out of the religion is not wise. But, some people do it. And they make it work. And they're happy, I guess. And they're in love. So, hey, more power to you, I guess. There are some examples of it working out for some people, but yeah, I wouldn't advise it. I've kind of been going back and forth with this, but I think I'm coming to the conclusion that I don't know if I'd want to be with someone, a woman, and obviously I'm a man, I'm straight. I wouldn't want to be with a woman that's like, this will sound terrible, but ambitious, like too ambitious. Because, for me, I was raised by a mom who's very ambitious, and she's a businesswoman. She owns a business, and she's been elevating and achieving all these different milestones and stuff. She's done so much, and she's still on her way up, And it's inspiring to see for sure. She's one of the hardest working people I know. She's a machine. And, you'd think that then that kind of influences who I would want to be with, right? You'd think I want to be with a similar woman, but it's actually the opposite that happens, because I see it up close. I know what that's like. I know what to expect. So I'm like, I don't know if I want that. Like, because I feel like if I'm with a ambitious woman who's career driven, all this, so she's going to be busy all the time. And there's so much that comes with that, and the stress. I think what I've seen with my mom is that the stress of her work, it does affect her in terms of how she is as a person, like how she interacts with the world and stuff like that. I think a woman who doesn't have the same type of burdens, type of stress, she's going to be more gentle, more soft, as opposed to a woman who's, a go-getter out and about dealing with business. Also, you just naturally develop a rough exterior by necessity because you have to be tough in that way. I don't. So that's something I've been kind of thinking about. I'm open-minded. I don't want to close off my options. So I'm not entirely opposed. It's not a red flag if a woman's ambitious. let me clarify that. It's not. It is something that I kind of like. I don't know if I want that. So maybe it is a red flag. I don't know. But it's something I go back and forth on because I just don't know if I want that sort of life where the girl I'm with is constantly busy and stuff. So what I'm working towards is being able to like financially support a household where she can just be at home. So I'd want to find a girl she's just looking forward to being a wife, looking forward to being a mother, looking forward to taking care of the house, cooking, cleaning, that sort of stuff, and that actually excites her. And there are many girls like that. Actually, there are many girls like that, and their numbers are increasing as many become disillusioned by the 9 to 5 career space. It's very soul draining. Most people, men and women alike, don't have what you call. Someone said there's a distinction between careers and jobs, if I'm not mistaken. But the basic idea behind that statement is you've got job, which is like the drudgery of self-sustenance and what you have to do to put food on the table. Then you got careers, which would be something you're more passionate about, like you actually wanted to get into that. There's pride in that. You can have pride in your job, but it's still kind of boring to you and draining. But with a career, there's kind of like a different connotation there. So very few people are doing what they want to do. Let's boil it down to that. Very few people in this world are like in careers that they're like, I'm so passionate about this. I love this. I wake up every morning excited to go to work. It's rare. Most people are just doing what they're doing because it puts food on the table, and there's nothing wrong with that. By the way, I wouldn't say get out of it, because if you have to do what you have to do. But I think the difference between men and women is men will do these jobs even if they hate them because it gives them purpose. Men love to feel useful. So to know that you're providing for your family, you're doing what you need to do as a man, it gives you so much pride, and you feel so like valued and appreciated when your family expresses that to you as well. So it makes it worth it for men. I think women will feel the same way, but it has this effect on them in terms of changing their nature. Women are supposed to be the ones that are sensitive and soft and all these sort of things, feminine. But I think that hardship, it masculinizes them, and that can be a problem. It can be a problem. So they can have the same feeling of pride and accomplishment. They can have the same feeling of pride and accomplishment, but the outcomes are usually very, very different. So having been raised by a single mother who's a very hard worker, career woman, and she started out working in a bank, and then she became an architect. Now she owns her own furniture business. I've seen her journey, and she's a great girl. She's a great woman, and she's adorable, and I love her and all these sort of things. But yeah, there's just certain habits she's picked up over the years that I can accept because I'm her son, but I would imagine like in a relationship that would be tough to deal with. But hopefully, I do think sometimes it also depends on the person. You know, some guys might be out here looking for that. Some guys might be out here, you know, not minding that sort of stuff at all. But they are out there. So I guess it's up to the women who want careers, who want to be busy and all that sort of stuff to find someone who can fit their schedule, fit their lifestyle. But I do think compromise has to be made for a relationship to be work regardless, to work regardless. You know? In that sense, when both people are working, because to maintain those busy lifestyles while also trying to maintain a healthy relationship and raise your children and be there for your family members and your friends and so on and so forth. I think it gets crazy. I do think compromises have to be made. So for me, I just prefer the traditional model: man working, woman at home. That's what I'm tending towards. But you know, I'm keeping an open mind. We'll see who I end up with, what ends up working for me. But yeah, I definitely do like the idea of just that stay-at-home wife/mom. Oh my gosh, a girl who can bake and just cook in general, and then there's always something to eat, something that she made. That would be amazing. What, bro? That's very attractive. When I find out that a girl can cook, it's very attractive. There's so many girls these days can't cook to save their lives. It's actually crazy. It's a basic survival skill, guys. I think even as a dude, you should know how to cook. I know guys that can't. Oh my gosh, dude. They only know how to use the microwave. They can't cook anything. They can't even cook eggs. It's ridiculous. You have to know how to cook, people. Because, you know, let's say you're a father, your wife is out of town for whatever reason, and you have to cook for your kids. Are they just going to be miserable because all your food's going to be trash? You know, my dad, when we used to live with him, he'd cook everything in the microwave. Like he'd take like raw chicken, and cook it in the microwave. It would be so dry. By the time it came out, it was like literally like crispy, no moisture. All the nutrients were like radiated out of it. And this was this man's idea of cooking. It was ridiculous, bro. It was a travesty. He cooked everything in the microwave. All his food was terrible. This guy could not cook. Oh my gosh. I'd dread that. Like, and my mom, it was so tough on my mom because, like, you know, he wasn't working. She was working, and she'd be working so hard, and she comes home and she has to cook and all these sort of things because he was so bad at it. But sometimes she had no choice. She'd just be like, your dad's gonna cook, and we'd be like, no, no. And when he'd cook, oh my gosh, it'd be so terrible. So I'd dread that. So it's so important for men to know the basics. You know, you don't have to be as good as your wife. You don't have to be a Gordon Ramsay, but you know, just basic things. Know how to marinate chicken. It's not hard. It really isn't. You get the chicken, you put the spices and whatever, the herbs, whatever you want to put, and then you leave it in the fridge for some time, and then you pop it in the oven. It's not hard. It really isn't. If you can just follow instructions, you're good. There's certain things that if you can just follow the instructions, you realize it's not that complicated. It's things like boiling rice. It really isn't that complicated. Well, boiling spaghetti or any pasta, like, it's not hard. Making pasta sauce, you can like guys, think about it, right? Chopping tomatoes, and even so there's the chopping tomatoes bit, which is pretty straightforward, and there's this particular type of Italian tomato that comes in cans. That's great for pasta sauce. You can get that and throw it in there. Some people like to throw in tomato sauce, tomato paste as well, and then a bit of water, some herbs, some salt, some pepper. Boom! Man, you got a workable pasta sauce. It's not anything fancy, but it's good enough. You put that over some spaghetti you boiled, and you grate some cheese over it. Voila! Voila! Pasta sauce. You want to make some meatballs? Meatballs aren't that difficult to make. How would you make meatballs? So you take some mincemeat, you crack an egg in there for binding. Binding meaning, you don't want your meatballs to fall apart. You want it to stay in that bowl shape, so you put an egg in there for binding. Some cornstarch, which helps with the binding as well. You can put some cornstarch, or you can put some breadcrumbs. And then you put your seasoning, your salt, your pepper, your herbs, whatever you want to put for seasoning, and then you mix it all together, and you just you use your hands to shape it into balls, and then you can either bake them in the oven, or you can fry them in the pan, or you can deep fry them with oil. There's so many ways to cook meatballs, but it's not that hard. If you watch a YouTube tutorial and you just follow the tutorial step by step, just do what the other person is doing, you realize that, this is workable. I can do this. But you have to have the will and the patience, and just follow the instructions, and you'll get there. So I don't know. There are a lot of people that can't do that for whatever reason. I really think it's very achievable. It's very doable. I guess that is a red flag for me. If a girl can't cook, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. And she has to know how to cook. She has to. I know how to cook. I've been cooking because when we moved away from my father, which is quite a while ago. It's been more than 10 years at this point. It was my brother and I who were cooking. I always get confused. My brother and me, my brother and I. I'm a writer. I should know this, but anyway, my brother and I were cooking. But then my brother's not that great at cooking, to be honest. I think he's just lazy. I think he has these moments where he makes something decent, but I think he's just very lazy. So he never puts in effort. So the food always comes out kind of trash. So at some point, I just took over the kitchen. I said, I'm doing this. You stay out of the kitchen because you're terrible. And yeah, I've been cooking for my household for a long, long, long time. And then I went to the cooking school. I learned a few things at cooking school. I don't think it was like anything that revolutionized the way I cook. You learn some things, I guess. But I was more so self-taught. I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos and experimented as well. Just did my own things. Learned that way. But yeah, I know how to cook for sure. So I just expect the woman I'm with to know how to cook as well, just because that's something I look forward to, eating her meals. Oh, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. That would be so fun. To have someone prepare something for you and it's good. And it's actually good. It's actually nice. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, red flag if you can't cook. Red flag, red flag, red flag. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you would want in a relationship. Your red flags and your green flags, I guess. I like to pray at the end of my videos. So, dear Father God, I thank you for this individual watching this right now. Thank you for making them holy, unique, and God, honorable, so peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing this person with wonderful people, a wife who love them, take care of them, bring their lives. so pissed out of them. And thank you for maintaining the ones that are there to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this person with love and marriage to stay in that love and marriage and making you very, very, very happy. Thank you for blessing this person with the spirit of gratitude so they can give thanks for all wonderful things in their life and make give thanks they can find peace, contentment, and attract even more blessings. Let your presence be felt in this person's life so they know that you're God, that you're real, that you're loving, you're be there for them. Good health, long life, and happiness over this person and they really care about your mind and bringing peace and amen, 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 amen.